Moving abroad doesn't solve your financial struggles. This is probably one of the most frustrating part of moving to Germany. Germans are wonderful people, but they are not big on small talks. I always have PTSD anytime I have to call an office or the doctors. Hey everyone, happy new year and you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Wendy and I make videos about my life in Germany as a Nigerian immigrant. I share my experiences studying, living and thriving in this beautiful but challenging country. Moving to Germany was one of the best decisions I made, but honestly, there are just some things I wish someone had sat me down and told me before I packed my bag. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 things that I wish I knew before I moved to Germany. Things that would have made my transition smoother and less stressful probably. So if you're planning to move to Germany or even just considering it, this video is for you. A quick disclaimer, I do not regret moving to Germany. I actually like it here. Well, we all know that being prepared makes all the difference, and I want to save you from some of the headaches I went through. So grab a snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. The first thing I wish I knew is to learn the language. I wish someone had emphasized this more. You need to learn German. I know some of you might be thinking, well, Wendy, I'm moving to study in English, or even, but everyone speaks English in Germany. Sure, that's true in big cities like Berlin, but here's the thing. German is essential for day-to-day life. I vividly remember how I always have PTSD anytime I have to call an office or the doctors. I would always translate my questions or inquiries on Google Translate app before I call, hoping that it will get me through. Because if the person on the other end of the line ends up asking me other questions in rapid German, I would be so lost. So to make your life easier, just start learning before you move. If you can't enroll in a formal language class, apps like Duolingo and Babel are great for basics. Coupled with the fact that the German language is so hard, it's not even easy trying to combine your studies with language class. I can tell you that from personal experience. Plus, language classes in Germany are often expensive, way more expensive than back home. So yeah, whether you're studying or working, speaking German will help you integrate faster, build connections, and feel more at home. The next thing I wish I knew is that finding accommodation in Germany is incredibly hard. This is probably one of the most frustrating parts of moving to Germany. Housing in Germany, where do I even begin? Finding an apartment here is like winning a lottery. Back in my home country, a lot of times the challenges when looking for apartments could be that you've not seen what you like, what you really like, or maybe the available apartments are way above your budget and all that. But in Germany, I realized that a lot of times your money doesn't even matter because there are over 50 people coming for the same apartment and ready to pay instantly. So when we moved from Freiburg to Düsseldorf last 2 years, we were required to bring potential tenants that are willing to rent our apartments by the landlord. He wanted 10 potential tenants. So we decided to put up an ad on Immobilien Scout, a housing website. We put up an ad on Friday. Before evening, same Friday, we had over 50 applications. I'm not even joking. Or is it the fact that we started looking for apartments in Düsseldorf the previous year and only got one a month before our intended move? So yeah, you can start looking 6 months before your move. You could use websites like Immobilien Scout 24 or Gesucht if you're looking for a shared apartment. eBay Klein is also great. And also be prepared to provide tons of documents such as your passport, your proof of income, SHUFA, and even references from your previous landlords. The next thing I wish I knew is that if you plan to drive in Germany, get your driver's license before you move. If you don't already know how to drive, learn before you move. Trust me, getting a driver's license in Germany, it's a very expensive and complicated process. Back in my home country, it's fairly straightforward to get a driver's license. But here in Germany, you have to take theory classes, practical lessons, and pass multiple tests. And guess what? It can cost up to 2,000 euros or more. So if you already have a driver's license from your home country, converting it is much easier and less expensive. But if you don't plan to drive, no worries. Germany has an amazing transportation system. You can absolutely survive without a car. Another thing I wasn't prepared for was how difficult it was to make friends and how lonely it could get. Back in my home country, you can make friends anywhere. The market, the church, while waiting in line at the bank, school, and a lot of other awkward places. It was that easy. Here is different. Germans are wonderful people, but they are not big on small talks. I think they actually find it weird when you try to make small talks with them. So you can imagine how lonely it can get when you move here alone without knowing anyone and stuff like that. My advice is to try and join communities that match your interests. Could be church groups and expat meetup. Just find a community that resonates with you. From my own experience, I joined this WhatsApp group. It was quite a big group, Nigerians in Freiburg, in my city then. There were also a couple of other Africans in Germany community that had WhatsApp groups as well, where you meet people and all that. You could also be intentional about reaching out to people, even if it feels awkward at first. It's tough, but once you do, those friendships are usually deep and long-lasting. Here's another thing no one prepared me for: German bureaucracy. Germany might be a well-developed country, but their bureaucracy is stuck in the 90s. Be ready for excessive paperwork and long waits. When you do registrations, a process called Anmeldung, say address registration, or you want to open a bank account, or even when you're trying to renew your residence permit and stuff like that, you will need to provide physical copies of so many documents, such as your passport, your address registration, and so many other documents. Let's not even talk about the long wait for an appointment. I literally had to wait for several months before I got appointment at the Auslander Beholder to get my residence permit extended. So my advice, keep a file of all your important documents. In my case, I have a different file for everything. Trust me, it's not fun, but it's unavoidable. The next thing is that your choice of where to live, big city or small town, will shape your entire experience in Germany. Life in big cities is completely different from life in smaller towns. The way people react and relate with immigrants is totally different as well. When I moved to Germany, I lived in a smaller city, Freiburg. As much as Freiburg was a vibrant university town, my life and experiences when I was living there is totally different from my experiences living in Düsseldorf. In Freiburg, I felt more out of place, especially if I find myself in certain places, and stairs were more as well. Not just that, it can feel more isolating in smaller towns if you don't speak German. And of course, there are more opportunities in big cities and people are more open-minded as well. So yeah, you need to ask yourself if you thrive in busy environments or you prefer a quieter lifestyle. Lastly, the harsh truth that no one prepared me for. Moving abroad doesn't solve your financial struggles. In fact, it can make them worse if you're not prepared. Yes, you probably earn more than you did in your home country, but you also spend more. Back in my home country, rent is often paid yearly, and we didn't have things like health insurance premiums or high taxes. I didn't have to think about most of these expenses. Here, taxes are high, rent is paid monthly, health insurance, utilities, and so much more. So pro tip, it's very important to budget wisely, especially during your first year. And remember, even if you're spending more, the quality of life here is worth it. So there you have it, 7 things I wish I knew before moving to Germany. These lessons were hard-earned, but I really hope they give you a better idea of what to expect and also help you prepare for your own move. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and please subscribe for more tips about living in Germany. Yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers!